Hello, it's Sophie for Hit the Floor, and today I'm in East London with the drums. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Well, a bit husky. Apologies on the voice. This isn't the usual tone.
Have you been out screaming?
Actually,
getting in a fight?
No, I was screaming though. A bit too hard to Slipknot and Limp Bizkit on Saturday night, I'm afraid.
God. Wow.
Should I admit to that? Or?
No, that's good. I like the honesty. And I hope you start feeling better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How are you holding up? Because I believe you finished on Saturday your European tour in Manchester. Yeah. How are you feeling? A bit tired?
Yes. Pretty tired, but not. I don't think overwhelmingly tired. I think we took this tour. We sort of did it the right way. You know, not really. We didn't do too much going out. Just kind of play the show and try to relax and get through it. I think it's the only way we could have done it this time around. Otherwise, you might be talking to a corpse right now.
You never want that.
Interview cancelled. He's dead. They're all dead.
It's far from ideal.
So yeah, we're doing okay. We're doing
good.
Okay. Yeah.
And did Manchester give you a good send off? With the crowd really enthusiastic for you for your last tour date?
Yeah, but it wasn't a surprise. Manchester's always been so warm and accepting and excited about what we do, which we find very flattering
And we have some lovely friends in Manchester, so it's a nice way to end the tour.
Did you catch up with them while you were there? Did you go for a meal or just party afterwards or anything? Or?
Well, yeah. Mike Joyce, who used to drum for the Smiths, was invited us over to hang out. So, you know, it's the third time we've seen him, and then he came to the show and we hung out, and that was really nice. You can imagine for a band like us how special that is.
You say that so coolly. I'd be in a state of panic, I think.
I think
he's
the
a
first
legend.
time we were in a state of panic and then realized just like, you know, he is a legend, but he is also so human and normal and sweet, and so we get on really, really nice. Yeah, so it's sort of the mystery and the magic is sort of fading away, and it's become a real friendship, which is nice.
That's a bit of a mentor, maybe, do you think?
In some ways, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, he talks about things he's been through and stuff, and it's interesting to hear straight from the source, you know.
I bet he's got some tales to tell, hasn't he?
Oh, yes, and you give him, I'll tell you what, you give him one glass of champagne and he will spill his beans.
Really?
He's a lightweight.
Are you guys the same? If I get some beers in, will you be telling me all sorts of stories?
Maybe me a little bit more than Jacob. Jacob's a pretty private person, but if I stub my toe, it has to be front page news.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. What's wrong with me?
Well, you're the front man. You have to be like that to an extent, I imagine.
I guess. I don't tell anyone what I really think, though.
Oh. So there is that air of mystery still.
Not really.
Okay, you're lying. At least you're honest about your lying.
Sure, yeah. Well, I feel like you can do anything you want as long as you're honest, you know. Murder, steal, lie. But as long as you say, I'm an honest person.
That's a
just
great
who I am.
soundbite.
No, I was talking to my friend today because this person that we both know just says awful, mean, horrible things all the time to people, and I don't really have time in my life for people like that.
So negative.
And his rebuttal all the time is, "What? I'm just being honest," and that's no excuse for being unkind to me. You know,
I don't buy that.
unless you actually think you're saving someone's life. But if you're just being honest to be a dickhead, then fucking get out of here.
There's an old saying that goes, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Yeah, and then there's another one that's something about it'd be better to, I'm going to mess this one up, it's better for people to think that you're an idiot rather than to open your mouth and erase any doubt that you're an idiot.
That's a good one, isn't it?
That one's a little more hardy. Hits home.
Yeah.
Both are usually applicable, though, in any situation.
Let's remember those. Now, I want to ask you about your London date, which is prior to your Manchester one. I think over here we like to believe that London dates are special to bands that come over, but are they genuinely special? Do you feel maybe more nerves for London dates?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a second home for the band, so when we come back here, you know, playing throughout Europe is really nice, and we have some good times, had some amazing shows, and going through the UK like we do pretty extensively, kind of hitting every city, is really nice. But certainly London is where things, other than, you know, the quick like jump start in New York, London's where things really kind of blossomed for our band, and people really just opened their arms to us. And, you know, for losers like us and outcasts like us, you know, it was really weird. We've never felt that way. We've never felt embraced by the world, let alone, you know, a small group of people. So I think it's pretty surreal. I mean, playing Shepherd's Bush, which is an iconic venue, and, you know, bands that we've loved have played there and have had amazing nights there. And it certainly would not be a lie to say that it was amazing for us. Yeah,
that's good to hear. And I think the way you perform has changed with the second album. I think you've discarded the guitar and gone back to your beloved synths, and I think you've discarded also backing tracks to an extent, have you? So does that make it a bit more nerve-wracking because there's more pressure to get it right because there's nothing, I don't know, synthetic going on?
It does. It makes the whole process a little bit more nerve-wracking, and there's certainly like a nervous energy, but we thrive on that. You know, I think that's sort of one of the like a cornerstone of this band is not really knowing how we're going to pull something off, but just kind of doing it as best we can. And that nervous energy really kind of feeds into what we do and the final product. You know, there's nothing worse than, for me, nothing more boring than going and seeing a band who's well rehearsed and extremely talented, and you know, it's just kind of, you know, it sounds like the album. I really like when, you know, Jacob and I, you know, I would say the drums are a guitar pop band essentially. Yeah. And, you know, we do most of the recording ourselves, and neither of us actually know how to play a guitar. You know, we've been playing electronic music our whole lives, so we just picked up a guitar and wrote that song Best Friend and thought maybe we could do something with this, and just kept writing. So, you know, I think, you know, we'll never try to get good at the guitar. I think we like not knowing what we're doing and just kind of like landing somewhere.
Spontaneity a bit.
Yeah, I think it just kind of, you know, when, you know, like this band, the Raincoats, their first album was amazing, and these girls that didn't know, they just knew they wanted to be in a band, and none of them had ever played instruments before, so they just started a band with their own rules. Yeah. And there's something so refreshing about that, you know. So you know, it's you know, not just them. There's many bands that have done that, but
I know you.
Now us.
Every live show now, the way it's restructured is really nerve-wracking for me, just because, you know, before we're having things on backing tracks, it's just one machine that's kind of taking care of all those extra things, and now I have about 20 different machines all kind of linked together that are all controlling all these other things in real time, and just anything can go wrong.
And has it on tour?
Oh yeah, anything that could go wrong has gone wrong. So, and you know, and it's a learning experience because of that. And now you know what to look out for and what to be more careful with, I suppose. Yeah. But yeah, still every show it's just hoping that all of this clunky equipment that's chained together is gonna keep working. But
do you use quite retro equipment as well, so old stuff that you've collected along the way?
That's part of it.
Jacob just uses an iPad.
That's not true. I would never do that. Yeah, actually, the sort of from what I'm doing on stage, all the machines I'm using really kind of span from about 1978 until now, and hit a lot of points between. So it's interesting to take the best pieces of technology from each era and use those, you know, for the best possible result.
And how have you kept up the energy while you're on tour? Does it peter out as you come to the end of the tour? Do you like look to the audience to pep you up when it's the final few dates, or can you keep it pretty energetic?
I do think it's a give and take. There's some shows where you can just tell by the vibe when you walk onto the stage that you're going to have to, you know, really just let yourself get immersed. And then there's other times where the audience immediately, you just know it's going to be really nuts. So I wouldn't say you go on cruise control, but you do you kind of like let them carry a little bit of the weight, which is nice because I think everyone walks away with a little bit more satisfaction. Like, we helped you and you helped us, and it was amazing. We had a great time. You know?
I'd say the end is probably better than the middle. You know, I think the middle's where it starts to feel kind of monotonous, and then at the end, you know, there's an end in sight, and you know, then you're trying to make the best of it, especially if you have a break afterwards, which
Like a sprint finish.
sort of, I think, yeah, or you know, grand finale. I don't know.
And because you spend so much time on tour, I think it's been a relentless 3 years pretty much for you guys. When you have a break for Christmas, will you decide not to see each other? Will you say, right, we just won't communicate, let's have some space?
No, I'm going to Jacob's. Jacob's having a Christmas party. I'm not a big Christmas fan, but Jacob is. I've never met anyone more obsessed with Christmas, so I'm just letting him sort of drag me through it in a way.
You sound like you're dreading it.
He's having a no electricity required Christmas party with candles and a candlelit tree and.
Sounds lovely.
Probably.
Yeah. He's taking all the precautions though, which is nice.
And are you cooking as well?
Well, I'll try to. I'm not a very good cook though, so I
The
might.
worst cook of all time. He makes hot dogs and frozen pizza.
Well,
Healthy, is it?
true. No, it's not healthy at all. Yeah, I have some friends that can cook pretty well, so they'll probably help out there.
How do you think you'll adapt to living a so-called normal life and living in your apartments and getting to go to your favourite places in New York again? How will you settle into that?
Well, I always adapt to it pretty instantly, but if I had my way, I'd be completely reclusive and never leave my home and just, yeah, I like doing that. Yeah.
No, for me, it takes a lot. I cry and mourn my own existence.
Oh, he
until-
just cries and cries.
No, I actually, I go home and I can't. I'm so excited to get to my apartment, and then the second I get there, instant panic. Have to run out the door, and I just mill up and down the streets of Manhattan all day and all night until I'm exhausted, and then I go to bed, and then I wake up and do the same thing again.
Do you find it hard to switch off from work mode? Is that why, or just you don't know how to relax?
Don't know how to relax. Terrified of relaxing, but I'm really trying to work on that.
How does it feel then? Because I heard that you said it's quite spontaneous recording the second album. So does that mean you've got the sort of brains that don't switch off from work, that you're always thinking of lyrics or things come to you all the time?
Yeah, well, I think some bands, I don't think we view this so much as work as some bands do. It's just what we do, you know. Before the drums really took off, we had day jobs, and we'd come home from our day jobs and write and record music all night for fun, you know. And you know, people say, oh, that our second album came out so soon after our first album, and it did in relative terms of albums coming out, but as far as like writing and recording songs, it's the least we've done it throughout our lives, you know, which was always nonstop. And then when we started the band, we had to tour so much, you know. So yeah, when I get home, one of the things I do to relax is sit down in my room with all of my synthesizers and just start making music, and it's relaxing to me.
I'm guessing it's not the same for you though.
Oh no, my creative mind never shuts off, but it's, you know,
Just the way it is.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, I feel pretty lucky, so it's all right.